Good morning, everybody. It is the 16th of November. We are Signal Centre Talking Ball. I'm Joe Neighbour, joined by Steve O'Hare. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, mate. You right?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Busy couple of days ahead for us.
Yes, but you got travelling. You're flying over to Cyprus.
Cyprus, and Steve will be representing in London
Yeah,
for the Finance Magnets show, which I'm a bit jealous, if I'm honest, because it looks like most people are going to be at that show rather than the one in Cyprus.
come along, mate. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm too busy, but I will for sure next time.
Definitely.
Yeah, anyway, so let's get stuck in. So cryptocurrency seems to be splashed across the headlines this morning. They've taken a bit of a dip from the highs. Bitcoin sliding towards the 60,000 level, Ether touching one of its lowest levels this month. The global crypto market cap has dropped by around about 7% in the past 24 hours, which equates to $2.8 trillion. That's according to CoinGecko. That's pretty massive. So there was new tax reporting requirements for digital currencies. That was part of the infrastructure bill that Joe Biden put in place yesterday. So that's obviously having a little bit of an impact. And also in China, they're talking about levying punitive power prices for companies that are involved in cryptocurrency mining. So a little bit of a regulatory and environmental issue around Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies today, which are affecting them. In terms of what's going on elsewhere, the hedge funds published or made their 13F filings public yesterday, which is when they have to disclose their quarterly holdings. So we got a bit of a look into what the likes of Buffett, Soros, and other big hedge fund names were doing, and seeing where they're positioned. That can often be a pretty good indication as to whether or not these companies are going to remain boosted by the hedge fund involvement. So maybe worth taking a read into that if you've got time. That's pretty much it. There is some issues ongoing at the border with Belarus and Poland, I believe, but it doesn't seem to be creeping into being a huge issue for stocks at the moment. We had Asian stocks rising overnight in Hong Kong, but we did see the Australian Stock Exchange down by 0.7%. So a little bit of divergence in the region yesterday. So Steve, let's get stuck into some charts. Are you going to kick off with cryptocurrencies today, or anything else taking your interest?
No, I'll go with cryptocurrencies. I've posted the link in the chat. If someone wants to take a bit of a deeper dive into it, there's a 5-minute video I've done
Nice
on
one.
all the cryptocurrencies. But yeah, so for me, the interesting thing is obviously Bitcoin. We've hit 69,000 on the dot. Nice round number. And we posted a shooting star last week, and this week we've got off to a really negative tone. We're engulfing last week's candle, last week's body. We're still within this resistance area, the previous resistance area, so there is still some support hanging around. 60,000 obviously will be a bit of a psychological level as well. Below that, we've got 56,500, which was the swing low of the week of the 25th of October. You can see down here, we're already 10% off from the highs of last week. Sounds like a lot. It would be a lot in most markets, but in Bitcoin, it doesn't seem to sort of have the same ring to it. We had this upward trending support line, which has been broken. Yesterday's bearish outside candle posted, which was engulfed Sunday's price action, also engulfed Saturday's, and if you look at the bodies, it engulfed Thursday's and Friday's price action as well. So quite an ominous looking negative candle here, and we've broken below the support of 62,300 and look set to continue lower. So I'm pretty negative on cryptocurrencies. Ethereum on the daily chart, we had a bullish channel which we've broken down from. We've got this is the 5th day of negative price action. The next support comes in around about 4,025 in Ethereum. So that's what you could be looking out for. Not really anything in the way of support. We've got a bit of congestion back here from the week of mid-October to the end of October. Ripple also looking bearish. but we still haven't broken the upward trending support line. There's a tentative one coming in here at 105. We've got a 38% Fibonacci retracement comes in at 107. So there's a little bit of support just below. A break of there should open up and a further dive down towards 96.60. The main support coming in at the 61.8% fib, though that's down at 86. I don't expect it to get there today, but could be worn down to there by the end of the week. Cardano, a little bit of a different story. This is actually still 1,600% up on the year to year. So, or year to date, it's up just under 1,000%, a mere 1,000%. On the week, we're off 14% here. On the month, we're down 10%, and we still didn't manage to get above the resistance at 247, which was the previous all-time high back in May. We're still below there at 237 and retraced downwards. 180 for me is the level to watch. A break of there should open up further downside, and I suppose we could potentially see this trend line coming in to work a little bit later, but that's all the way down at 114. So that would require a really decent sell-off to test that. On the commodity front, we're looking at oil here on the weekly chart. Obviously, we've had 3 weeks of negative price action. This week has been a slightly more positive tinge to it. We're still potentially in this 5th and final wave. Really, after a final wave, we'll get an ABC correction, but still have to see whether that plays out or not. We've broken down from the daily channel that we were in. That was broke on the 3rd of November. We retested it on the 10th, and we've retraced from there quite nicely. Yesterday's price action was almost like a bullish hammer. So there is potential for a little bit of an uplift in oil on the back of that technical move there. It has formed a higher low as well, so that's positive. We stalled at 78.27, trading at 80.30, so a couple of dollars higher off the low. Again, similar sort of price action in Brent crude oil. This bullish hammer from yesterday looks quite nice. There's momentum stalling ever so slightly, and we've had a nice propulsion higher from there. Again, it was a higher low, and that acted as quite a decent support at $79.80, $80. So that's again a level to watch. Natural gas has recovered from the dip lower last week. We got down to 480 and managed to close all the way back up at 511. Really need to break above and close above 525 to see the bulls come flooding back into natural gas. Gold continues to hang around the highs. It's 1875 is the this previous level, which did act as great resistance. We did break above it and make a bit of a mess of it. But for me, still between 1870 and 1875, I still think we'll find some resistance, although this move higher is starting to stall. We've got indecision over the last couple of days, so watch out for that potential for a little bit of a retracement. But if we look at the 4-hour chart, we can still see we're in a positive trend, still looking to move higher with the Ichimoku cloud. 1834 for me is the level to watch from a supportive line, but a break above 1875, and I think that opens up a potential move to this 1915 level, which was the great head and shoulders formation we had before this sell-off back here. So I'm still slightly bullish on potential for the upside in gold. On the indice front, looking at FTSE, looking very positive. We've got this upward trending support line, and it's above the Ichimoku cloud. So on a short-term time frame, it's looking pretty positive. On the daily chart, not so. We saw price action stall and pull back on Friday. The high we got up to was just above the 7400 level, 7405, trading around about 7350 currently. So we really sort of like wait to see if that can extend higher. Indices feeling a little bit worn on the upside, and we're always looking for a potential retracement. Dip buying seems to be the way forward. Really looking for a dip on the 4-hour chart on DAX. We've got decent support coming in between the 16,000 and 16,100, and then we've got a big decent amount of cloud support there. As we're moving higher, we are seeing momentum stalling, so that is an indication of bearish divergence, and we're always looking out for this, but really need to clear or clearly break the 16,000 level and close below there on a daily or even a weekly time frame to turn negative on this for a correction. Let's take a look at Dow. Dow is stalling, and the 4-hour time frame, we saw price action on Thursday and Friday react higher. We've stalled at 36,260 and corrected lower from there. So, but really need to break below the 35,920 to see if there's, to give it a little bit of space on the downside. After that, the real support coming in around about 35,500. Nasdaq, I didn't think you were going to show me for a minute, Nasdaq. So again, similar sort of price action in there. Bearish engulfing on the 4-hour chart yesterday. That was the afternoon session, was capped at 16,283, and we managed to move down towards the 16,100 area before buyers returned. And overnight, we've seen another bearish engulfing candle on the 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock time frame. So we're trading within the Ichimoku cloud. Normally that's quite volatile, and a break in either direction is still possible. The next line of support, as I say, 15,925 to 16,000, nice round numbers. Below there, there'll be a bit of fresh air we could dive into. But at the moment, we're still looking to buy dips in front of there. S&Ps, similar sort of price action, 4-hour chart showing support, the Ichimoku cloud providing support, and we expect it that support to find its way all the way down to 4,630, which is about 50 points higher. The all-time high we posted at 4,720 remains pretty solid at the moment, and we should get some resistance coming in around about the 4,700 level on S&Ps. Aussie 200 under a bit of pressure in the same fashion. We've got support coming in just above the 7,325 level. Aussie 200, that is obviously the level I'm always talking about, is this 14,500, but we're toying nicely and looking actually turned slightly positive from a trend perspective on the shorter term time frame. However, a bearish engulfing in the last 4 hours isn't so great. Hang Seng posted a doji candle on the 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock move, and that looks like it could have topped out, and potential for further downside in that as well. And Nikkei has reversed from the highs, which was previously saw on the 3rd of November, and that looks quite decent for a correction there as well. So a little bit of pressure on the indices. Energy, the oil looks a little bit positive, gold looks positive, so commodities looking decent. Crypto's looking a little bit nervous as well. So that's about it from my side, Joe.
Nice one, Steve. Thank you. Okay, so let's take a look at FX then. Strong day yesterday for the dollar index, so continues to push higher following the break of this resistance at 94.74. So we saw the impulsive break higher here on the 10th, and we've continued to see strength ever since. This was yesterday's price action, as you can see, really bullish, making new highs and approaching now this key level of resistance above, which I've got at 96.09. Reason I've got that there is because it's a 50% fib level of this entire move here, and it's also quite neatly the upper end of this bullish channel. So in and around there, I would expect probably some profit taking, maybe a little bit of calling off, maybe a dip back towards this support level at 94.74, just to confirm that the buyers are happy to accept price above that level, and then we can start looking for higher prices. But ultimately, the outlook continues to look very bullish for the dollar index. A little bit of weakness today, nothing to be overly concerned about. If we take a look at euro dollar, that continues to look weak. We actually saw a break below the lower end of this bearish channel that I've got on the chart at the moment. So really a continuation of that weakness, no sign of that slowing whatsoever. Some really big red candles have been forming in the last few sessions, and nothing in the way of buying support has emerged at this moment in time. So maybe maybe people will look at this, speculators will think, well, this just looks a little bit too low in the very short term, and we might see some buyers step in, but the outlook continues to look very bearish. We've still got this head and shoulders top, which for me is just sort of overshadowing everything at the moment when it comes to euro dollar. And we've got a measured move target down here at 110.56. So ultimately looking for prices down at this kind of region, but I don't expect it will move in a straight line to the downside, but it's certainly having a good go at doing that over the last few sessions. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Cable, that formed a little bit of a fight back yesterday. Yesterday was a bit of a doji, but looking at what's going on today, we're up by 0.5% almost on cable. So a bit of sterling strength, which is being seen across the board. If you look here on the right-hand side of the watch list, these are all the sterling pairs, and all of them seem to be pushing higher quite nicely this morning. Whether or not that's temporary or whether it's the sign of a continuation or a bout of strength in sterling, we'll have to wait and see. Just have a quick flick through these. So this is sterling Oz. That was looking quite nice. It looked like it was forming a bit of a bottom pattern here with the breakout above this resistance at 185, actually broken the short-term trend line as well. So looking like it's a bit undecided at the moment. I would still favour probably selling into rallies on that one at the moment. If we look at sterling Canadian dollar, that broke down through some key support here at 168.60, and just really testing the underside of that at the moment. So again, potentially limited upside there if we're looking at sterling versus Canadian dollar. Sterling versus Swiss franc. So this was trading in a sort of bearish channel. We seem to have bounced at the lower end of that. But more importantly, maybe we've actually retesting the underside of this broken trend channel. So across the board with sterling, it just looks to be a bit of a relief move more than anything else today. But that could potentially become something a bit more stronger. We'll have to wait and see. Let's take a quick look at this sterling yen play, because this is the one I'm sort of really waiting for something to happen on a technical basis. The trend obviously has been very strong. Yen has been very weak. Dollar's been very strong. We are potentially forming a bullish flag at the moment, but we need to overcome this big resistance level that goes back to 2017 at 114.32. We have moved above it. We've actually closed above it yesterday, but I'm not really convinced by what I'm seeing there. I think when you see these breakouts or expected breakouts, you really want to see something quite impulsive, really taking out, at least the day before's highs, and any other sort of major resistance levels. So I'll watch in brief on this one for now. I really want to see some sort of big move to the upside and clearing out some stop losses, which inevitably will be in and around this zone, given how well respected this resistant line has been going back to, as I said, 2017. So watching and waiting on that one for now. Is that it from me? Let's have a look at euro sterling. Quite a big move there. Obviously, sterling has found its feet in the last couple of days or so, but it's still trading in a bearish channel, and I think the bias still remains for lower prices here. So expecting euro to continue underperforming sterling at the moment. That's it from me on the FX front. Steve, we're going to whiz through this because we've got a call at 9 o'clock. So the gun to the head trades from yesterday. I know I was stopped out on my cable idea. I think you made 0.44R on your gold trade.
Wow. I was sort of like hiding there thinking it was another loser.
No, 0.44R I've got here. So all in all, a losing day, unfortunately, certainly not as bad as it could have been. Have you got anything you fancy today?
Well, I've got to go with one of the indices. I don't know which one though. There's so much choice, mate. Here we go. I'm going to go with Hang Seng. I'm going to sell that. just because I really like the sort of the way it's stalled and left that little doji. Gives a good risk reward trade idea. Getting short here at 25,655. The stop. Let's have a tighter stop than that. 25,805. So just above the 25,800 level. And let's go for a humdinger. A move all the way back down to 24,755. 6-1. Get on it.
Go on, son.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
All right. I'm going to take a quick look at Bitcoin because everyone loves buying the dip on this, don't they? So this is an hourly chart. I've seen some support, just eyeballing it, on an hourly chart at 60,156. So just in front of that key 60,000 round number. Yeah, there's some levels down here that might be of interest, but it seems to have, following this steep drop, maybe rounding off a little bit in the last few hours. So let's have a go, shall we? I'm going to buy it at 61,003. I'm going to target a move back up to 66,000. And I'm going to keep a nice tight stop below these lows down here at 59,990. So 4.64R I'm looking for on Bitcoin today.
Go for it, mate.
Let's see how we go. Okay, so data today. We've got US retail sales at 130. They're expected to rise 0.7% month on month. We did have some UK numbers out this morning. Jobs data saw up 5.8%. That was jobs data this morning. Another decline in unemployment, that was down to 4.3. So there is a bit of building pressure on the Bank of England to hike in December, hence why we're seeing this rise in sterling, I think, today. So yeah, keep an eye out for the retail sales. I think we've also got some GDP numbers out from the Eurozone as well. So a little bit to keep us interested today.
Brilliant. Nice one, Joe.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm not sure what we're doing tomorrow because we've got a few bits and pieces on. I'm travelling to Cyprus. Steve will be up and bright and early in the London Expo. So it's actually episode 500 is the next one. So we might try and make a bit more of a big deal about that. And
yeah, I mean, we could sort of postpone it to next Monday,
yeah.
And sort of like that, we could actually do the brand name change as well. We've got to get rid of Talking Bull because Red Bull have complained to us. Basically, they said they see us as more of a threat than Mercedes.
Wow, that is impressive. And I don't disagree with them as well.
No, true.
We are massive.
Anyway, we are massive.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day today, everyone, and good luck, Steve. We'll catch you tomorrow. Soon. Monday. Yep. Let's say Monday.
Monday. Let's say Monday.
Bye-bye.